Hello and welcome to daily Leetcode challenges. Let's begin our daily question. Okay, question 605. Can place flowers. You have a long flower bed in which some of the plots are planted and some are not. However, flowers cannot be planted in adjacent plots. Given an array flower bed containing zeros and ones, where 0 means empty and 1 means not empty, and an integer n, return if n new flowers can be planted in the flower bed without violating the no adjacent flowering rule. Okay, so we're given a flower bed, this array here, and an n, which is flowers to plant. We have to follow a condition by planting these flowers and seeing if all of these flowers can be planted. Okay. So what's the condition? The condition is that two flowers cannot be adjacent to each other, meaning that this flower right here is not adjacent to any flowers, right? Because it's the first element in the array, there's nothing to its left, and to the right, the flower is not planted. The last element in the array is also there legally because it's not adjacent to anything on the left, and since it's the last, it's not adjacent to anything on the right. So if we were to be asked to plant one flower, the only place we could plant it is here. And the output is true. Okay, let's look at example 2. We have a flower bed, same flower bed, except this time we are asked to plant 2 flowers. This cannot happen because once we plant the first one, the second one will be violating the rule of adjacency. So, okay, pretty simple, I think, explanation. How do we structure this? Well, let's pretend that I'm a farmer or a gardener, and I'm walking along a flower bed. At each point of time, I can look ahead one and look behind one, right? And the simplest thing that I can think of is, well, as I'm walking along the flower bed, I can keep track in variables, the current, the previous, and the next, the 2 flowers, the 3 flowers that I'm going to be basing my condition of. And if I am able to place the flower, then I simply edit the flower bed array, current 201, and continue on to the next. So let's see, prev for let's say for current in flower bed, indx in I'm flower bed. I'm worried that me editing this array in real time will somehow not reflect what I'm actually wanting to do. Let's see. Previous is going to be 0 if indx is equal to 0, else it's just going to be equal to the flower bed indx minus 1. Pretty simple. Next is going to be 0 if indx is equal to len of flower bed minus 1, else it's going to be equal to the flower bed indx minus 1. Right? Pretty standard stuff. This is a ternary statement that reads as follows. I have a condition here, and then if this condition is true, then I can take the first value. If this condition is false, then I take the value after left. The current is just equal to flower bed indx. Let's change all of these to i's just to have it more consistent. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that if prev is equal to 0 and cur is equal to 0 and next is equal to 0, then I should decrease n by 1, and then also flower bed set I to 1, and return, and once I've iterated through this whole thing, if n is greater than 0, return true, else return false. Okay, what? Did I? Oh, if n is smaller or equal, sorry, smaller or equal to 0, return, no. If n is greater than 0, return false, else return true. Wrong answer. Okay, so this is what I'm... Okay, just quickly I'm going to print this statement because this logic is so easy that I should be able to get everything right, but I'm concerned. Flower, did I spell everything right? I'm concerned that somehow I might be unable. Oh no. So I'm able to do it here, but I'm not able to do it there. If I'm asked to plant one flower, let's just print the current, the prev next and current. Prev, cur, next for each of these guys. I'm getting the wrong answer here. So how is this possible? To make this better, on the first, why am I getting a 1 here? Why am I getting a 1 here and a 1 here? Because I'm not looking at the... Sorry. I should have been iterating over the indices, not the actual values. It's a mistake that I was going to fix. This should work. No, it's not working. Wrong answer. I'm expected to plant two flowers, and so the first one that I'm going to plant is here, and then somehow, so on this first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, somehow here I'm getting a situation where I'm printing 0, 0, 0. How does that happen? So it's looking ahead incorrectly because I did this wrong. Okay. Whoa, okay. The reason why that's happening is because we have a print statement. And we're going to check quickly if we can increase the speed of it. Okay, so this looks all fine, but what's happening, the reason why we're probably getting a slow speed is because we're doing manipulation of the array. Let's try to avoid using that at all by doing the following. Let's keep track of previous, set it to 0, and only look ahead for next. So next is equal to 0 if let's current, actually I'm going to enumerate flower bed. So instead of modifying the input array, I'm going to only be modifying the previous variable that is going to tell me whether the previous was set to 0 in the case that I was not able to plant a plant. 1 if it was able, if I was able to plant it. So that's going to be the condition that we do in a little bit. If prev is equal to 0 and is equal to 0 and next is equal to 0, then do logic to do that. I set n minus equals 1, prev equals to 0, and if we don't plant it, then we just simply set prev equals to current. Here, now to the look ahead. How do we look ahead? Well, we can always look ahead pretty easily, right? We can look ahead by conditionally looking ahead. So, if I is equal to len of flower, let's set a variable L len flower bed. If len equals flower from that, else flower bed I plus 1. Right? Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this is all the same and should make sense. Previous is no longer being looked at by this condition. Prev is just being set. I'm thinking that maybe next can also be, current can also be set like that, but let's see what the rating algorithm thinks of it. Okay, and we're being put at a pretty good paste already. I think that 75 is usually the threshold that we use. Another thing that I'm thinking is sometimes they don't like using this can place equals 0. Sometimes they don't like to modify a element given to us by in the parameter, so I can say if can place is bigger or equal to n, then return true, else return false. Let's see if this runs a little bit faster, and it does not. So I would just stick to this solution right here. Very, very simple, concise, and passes, I think, all the requirements. And on that note, thanks for watching. Pretty easy solution. Please like and subscribe. Keep posted. See you next time.